Alright, welcome to Cobalt Black Gaming, the channel where I play a different indie game almost every day to show you guys those hidden and not so hidden gems. Today, we're going to be checking out Let Them Come, Onslaught. This is a survivor-like set in a sci-fi universe, and man, is it fantastic. I definitely think this is one to look out for. I went and picked it up today. It released November 11th. Yeah, I think this game is a pretty good one. But you know what, guys? Why don't you stick around, stay tuned, and see if this game is right for you. We're gonna get right in here. So, as you can see, I've unlocked almost all the areas. We're just gonna go on a crash site, because maybe we'll be able to defeat the boss. Maybe I won't. Let's find out. So, I find it funny because every mission starts with you crash landing, like your ship getting attacked and crash landing. Even when you go to the next site, it's also a crash landing. You'll notice here I'm not playing with the character on like all the capsule art and everything. This is the psychic you get. And the difference between her and the soldier character is that her special, instead of a dodge, is a little explosion. So I'll probably be able to show you guys that in a second. Yeah, so you do that, and it kind of kills all the enemies around you. Super useful. Would I say it's better than the dodge? 6 to 1, half dozen the other. They both just kind of help you get out of bad situations. Hers you can use offensively, but the dodge you can use to cover more ground just when you're trying to get from point A to point B. So, you know, take that as you will. I think we're actually going to go with Orbital Strike for this run. I have not actually evolved Orbital Strike ever in a run, so we're going to try this time. I'm basically working my way through evolving all of the weapons and things, and that's just mostly because it gets you achievements, and those achievements unlock more weapons and other things that you can possibly get. I think we'll go a laser beam run. I'm just feeling the flavor of it. But so far, I've been having a blast with this one. This is one of those survivor-likes of the year that I can sit here and look at it and go, hey, if you really like survivor-likes, pick it up. If you think this genre's been beat to death, then it might not be for you. Because I will say, nothing here feels particularly innovative or crazy, but what is here is fun. So if you're like me and you just like survivor-likes, like I will always grab a new survivor-like, especially if it's moderately priced and enjoyable, you know. But I also understand people who are kind of just tired of them because they've been doing this to death. We'll see. We'll see. But this one, I think is definitely a fun little time. So essentially, you have several things around the map you can do. You can break these red boxes that usually gives you credits. Credits are your meta progression currency. So this is meta progression if I went for this. I'm going to enhance Orbital Strike. I kind of wanted to go for the Chain Lightning there, but we'll keep it on Orbital Strike for right now. And so these towers, I believe, give you a bit of shield while you're in their area during I'm just going to call it the blue time after you activate it. So I can't really be hurt too badly in here. I mean, I can get hurt, but I believe it gives you some sort of resistance. There's also a bunch of upgrades that Alright, sorry about that, guys. If you notice the music's different, that's because this game actually has a pretty big emphasis on the soundtrack, seemingly. So I don't know if it's just that all of this is by the creator or whatever, but there you can change the music in the pause menu. I had to pause there, you know, dishwasher repairman was here, so I'm picking this back up, you know, like an hour later. But we're still doing the same thing, so yeah, we're making our way through here, and honestly, one thing I can say about this game is the whole power-up and evolution scheme for your weapons is a little bit boring, but it's only because I'm very much used to like the weapons being tied to an item or something. Here, if you just level up your weapons 10 times, they evolve. And they don't even necessarily evolve, but they do get like some quasi-game-changing mechanic added to them. Now, it's weird, right? Because Part of me is like, oh, that seems kind of boring. I wish it was like tied to an item, yada, yada, yada. But when you tie it to an item, you know, I feel like I'm pigeonholed into building a certain way because it's like, oh, well, if I want this weapon to be good, I have to pick this item. And sometimes it doesn't always synergize. So that is, I guess I'm more saying this from a neutral standpoint, and you can decide for yourself whether it's good or bad. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like that. So a lot of the tasks in this are timed. It'll basically tell you like, hey, there's going to be something over here. And if you don't get to it in a certain amount of time, it'll either disappear or just won't be marked. So these green caches you can get, where you get like a special level up and some other extra goodies, these, they don't disappear, but they stop being marked on your map or like your header. Like there's no more arrow telling you to go towards them, but I think they still just remain on the ground. So you can kind of stumble across them if you've missed a few and kind of remember the direction they were in. But there will be tasks that show up in yellow or gold, and those tasks need to be attended to. If you miss those, you do not get to just pick them up later. That task is just over. So, you know, always be careful of things like that in this game. But what I do kind of like is how... So, I like how the weapons evolve while they're leveling. It's not just as an evolution, right? And what I mean by that is, like, as you level up and get more points in a specific weapon, for example, I think both the photon saber, it's not a lightsaber, because it can't be, the photon saber and the chain lightning both do it very well, where, like, okay, I'm like mid-level with the photon saber. It's not even like I leveled up that much, but now I'm throwing it, and it kind of goes out and comes back in. And that's just like a passive level up. You don't have to evolve the weapon for that. Same thing with, you know, now I have 2 beams for my orbital cannon. And, you know, same thing with the chain lightning. The chain lightning one I really like because the chain lightning itself starts off blue, and it gets darker and more red as you go, until finally it is red lightning when you hit the final level 10 with it. So I think that's really cool. I like how the weapons incrementally change along with the levels, as opposed to just like, oh, this only changes when it evolves. I think that attention to detail is really cool. That is something I'm always gonna like in any game, is the visuals reflecting any sort of change that's made. You've probably heard me, if you've seen other videos I have, you've probably heard me talk about it before, but like in games where there's equipment, but it doesn't visually change your character, that always kind of irks me a little bit. But I also do understand, you know, for like a small-time game dev, you might not have time to be doing that, and I get that. But I do always appreciate that attention to detail. So I do like how these weapons do gradually change as you're leveling up, and it is not simply a, oh, you hit max level, now it's a totally different weapon kind of thing. We'll take the armor plate. Something that's kind of cool to notice, whenever you get something at like a higher, I guess, rarity, it's not even necessarily a higher rarity, it is, you can get a level up with a bonus on it, as opposed to, you know, just leveling up. And this is more of a, actually, let's go to a different one, because it's more of a key kind of level up for the photon saber. But this would just give me 3 HP every 5 seconds. That's nice. But if I get a bonus, it could have something like this. So now I have negates damage because this is armor plating, but I get the health regen on there. Really cool. And that's quite a big increase. So it's really cool how they do that, because what it allows for is certain level ups. Instead of me just looking for a better rarity, certain level ups can do a lot more than others. I've seen these kind of, so this is going to increase my defense by 15. That is the same amount as a full regular defense buff. So it's really cool how you can get that. especially because I believe the bonus is maybe it isn't it seems random, maybe it isn't random, but I don't know what the roll parameters are for it, but it seems like it can be anything. I've had level ups where it's just like get 200 credits, which is pretty awesome. Like I've been in this round for 7 minutes and I don't even yet have 200 credits. So it's pretty cool to get some of those. Let's go get to this gold task before it disappears. So there is a green chest on the way to it. By on the way to it, I mean I'm making it on the way to it. I'm kind of trying to get myself in a spot where it's directly back the way I came. Although it seems like it's right here. Let's just explode it with our power. Yeah, we're going to do that. And we're going to get out of here real quick, okay? That took some time away, but it didn't entirely kill my time getting to this objective. Because like I said, this gold one at the bottom, this will just disappear. Which isn't great. And the gold ones are usually more mission-oriented and will have more interesting rewards. I've had it be like a defense array where once you capture it, it just shoots missiles out at surrounding enemies, and that one's pretty cool. So it always depends on what you get. We're gonna go for cooling fluid, even though there was a photon saber upgrade there. I will like everything to have quicker cooldowns. Okay, there we go. Get a couple of uses of our ult there. We're gonna want health regen because we're taking a lot of damage, and we're starting to get swarmed here, which you can see isn't the best, but that's okay. I'll keep leveling up this laser beam and maybe it'll dig us out of it. So as you can see, it can get quite hectic. Which I always love in a good survivor. Like, you know, I've played some where it never gets hectic, you're just too OP for that, and I've played some where it's always hectic. It is nice when it is an ebb and flow, you know. I want to have times where I feel like, man, I really gotta lock in, and then other times where I'm just like, this is fun, I'm just destroying all my enemies and doing whatever I want. Granted, I can't get complacent because I'm still taking damage here. What do we want? So I don't like Mind Blast because enemies don't leave drops. Okay. Yeah, so the other thing is some of the meta progression is pretty interesting. Ooh, drone strike. I have never seen that before. We are definitely picking that up. Some of the meta progression is pretty interesting. So if you notice some of these XP cubes when they are first dropped, not some of all of these XP cubes, when they're first dropped, they are red. And that is because they give you, I have the meta progression where they give you extra XP the quicker you pick them up after they're dropped. And after a couple seconds, that goes away, and then they turn to their normal blue or teal color, and they go back to being a regular XP cube. I just think that's a fun way to do that, to put some urgency on it. Most games, it's just the bog standard, you get more XP, there you go, are you happy? And there's an entirely separate node for XP drops give more XP. So you get both in this game. It's not like they entirely swapped it out. I just thought that was a cool little way of doing it. Oh, I do want the 25 credits. I want the 25 credits really bad. Yeah, okay, pickup range is okay. I really wanted the cooling fluid there more than the 25 credits because constantly dealing massive amounts of damage is preferable. And I don't think I need to explain why. I think everybody should understand why. That's the other thing I will say about this game that I really like is all of the weapons that you can acquire feel good in their own way. I haven't yet picked up a weapon that I'm just like, this is terrible. Picked up weapons where I'm like, this isn't my favorite, not for how I like to play, but I haven't picked up a weapon and looked at it and been like, why is this even in the game? And I feel like in a lot of Survivor likes, there always ends up being kind of like a dump weapon. where you're just like, anything but that, please. Okay, I want to kill this boss, but I also have a minute to get to a supply crate, and I would like to get to said supply crate. Movement speed, increasing damage, we take those. Yeah, so always pay attention to those bonuses. Sometimes you get really cool stuff like that. Movement speed is one of those things. I don't stress it in this game, but you do want it. You do kind of need it. I'm never gonna put a lot of... Oh, 2 here. I'm never gonna put a lot of emphasis on making sure I get move speed, but I do want to get move speed as I go along. And we got armory upgrades unlocked. That's the other thing. You want to always go for those pickups, the timed ones, because they will unlock blueprints and armory unlocks for other weapons and power-ups and things in the game. So I kind of like that because it's not this super scripted, oh, always do this one thing and that's how you get all these unlocks. It is this nice level of, hey, every one of these green chests could be important, right? Sometimes it's just a magnet. Sometimes it's just it gives you 1 level's worth of XP. And you know, those are okay. They're not bad or anything. They're just not crazy good. But like, I think you always have a chance of it being a blueprint. And that is huge. At least to me. You know, I play these and I want to unlock all the stuff there is for you to use. Maybe that's not everybody's experience, but it's mine. We seem to be doing quite all right. I'm going to level up this drone strike. I'm not going to lie, there's so many particle effects and BS around that I can't really tell how well it's been working. But I assume it's been killing people. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it looks like just like a regular drone you could buy at Radio Shack. Or Circuit City. I'm just listing stores that are dead. This is how I age myself. You guys ever been to a Blockbuster? There you go. Now you all know how old I am. Ooh, I want the movement speed because of the bonus. I want the take it with the bonus. Getting credits is really important because I am still getting through my meta progression. It's that weird level of I want to make sure I clear this run. So I'm not going to totally just always go after if it has a credit bonus, but if it's something that could be helpful, I'll take it, because meta progression is king. Weapon retrieve, experiment blueprint. Okay, where do I gotta go? This way? Perfect. You can see that orbital laser at full upgrade now has 3 rotating me, and then just has 1 that it just kind of randomly strikes around the field, almost like in a lot of games it would be a lightning strike. But this is a lot more, you know, sci-fi coded. Which I'm really liking the feel of. Although I can't help but think that this psychic character was a little bit inspired by the 5th element, and a little bit inspired by Cortana, which I'm all down for. Alright, we got a blueprint. Perfect. Okay, I want everybody to stop touching me. That would be great. Keep your hands to yourself, unless asked. I think that's a good rule to go through life by. Or like, you know, unless it's CPR or something that needs to happen. But yeah, I'm highly enjoying just the sheer levels you can get to in this game of chaos, but with all these objectives, it feels like a weird organized chaos, and I really like that. Some games just go for the chaos and they have none of these objectives. Some games try to make it all objective based and they have none of the chaos. I think this game meets a nice balance. It makes it very fun. Like, I got this game to play for a video. I bought it this morning, and I was like, oh, let me play so I kind of, you know what's going on before I hop on in there. And I think I played for like 2 hours before I noticed, hey, maybe I should actually just record. And then by then, you know, the dishwasher repair guy was coming, all this stuff, so this video is going to come out a little late. Alright, we have to follow where this drone goes, not to be confused with our machine gun drone that is just mowing down enemies. Oh, cool. And we got a mission objective, or not a mission objective, a green crate over here, so I'll take those as well. I'm gonna grab the laser beam. Oh, and now our laser beam is pink. I don't know what this is going towards, but again, I love that attention to detail and those little visual changes. Seems to be firing fairly quick, too. Alright, let's wait till these two guys, yeah, the two bosses get near me. The nice part is, when you're killing normal enemies with your mind blast in this game, they don't drop loot. If you kill a boss with it, they still drop loot, which is very nice. Ooh, a photon saber. I want to make sure I'm ready for the boss at the end of this. For all of my other playthroughs, if you notice when I came in here, I had cleared it, but I hadn't beaten the boss, and that's because the bosses are timed in this, so you can clear the level, and then the boss shows up, and I think the boss is only around for like 2 minutes. And if you can defeat the boss in that period of time, cool, you cleared the boss as well. You can't, you still cleared the level, you just didn't beat the boss. And I have yet to beat a boss in this game, so hopefully this is the run. We'll see. I feel like I'm doing substantial amounts of damage, but we're going to keep going for things that will give me more damage. While I do want that extra 5%, I think I'm going to push this drone. Granted, there's no guarantee that I'll even level up before the boss, so there's definitely no guarantee that that will get another level, but hey, a man can hope, right? At least I'm gonna hope. This definitely is a solid survivor. Like, it is not, you know, my pick of the year, but this is definitely a nice little hidden gem that kind of came out of nowhere and, you know, can stand alone and look good. I do wonder if there will ever be more characters or things for it, but it is still good the way it is. Alright, so the whole orbital strike thing is now going to be tricky, because I want to kill this boss, and the orbital strike, I believe, is probably my greatest source of damage, so I want to stay close to this boss. However, all of my video gamer instincts tell me being close to a boss is a good way to frickin' die, guys. So we'll see how this goes. Uh-oh. I ate that anyways. I was trying hard, but no, I was just bad. Okay, let's just try to stay in him, pretty much. In his hitbox. And we're getting as many mind bursts on him as possible. I think we stand a good chance. Yeah, our orbital strikes are doing work on his ass, so I will take that. Hey, we did it! Nice! Alright, that is the first time I have cleared the boss. I am very happy about that. Glad I could do it here for the video, so that you guys could see it. Oh, cool! The evolution of the laser puts it in 3 beams? That's sick. I love that. Not this run, but next run I will be seeing the evolution of the drone strike. I'm taking that because it's 75 credits. I'll take those. So we're so close to the end anyways. I don't know what killing the boss does, though. I assumed it would just have ended it, but I guess I'm waiting for the actual end of the level. So yeah, that nuke is what goes off at the end. I guess narratively, you're basically just trying to arm a nuke and survive until it goes off and kill everything. Also, it looks like we just unlocked a new weapon, which was a sniper rifle. So this is your meta upgrade, meta progression. So these are your upgrades. It's your kind of classic tree thing. It has your bog standard stuff like max HP, negates damage, you know, health pickups, health regen, extra supplies, movement speed. Credit pickups will give 10% more credit. I'm actually about to max that out. Killing mini boss, 40% that'll just drop extra credits. You come over here, you have things like you don't take damage for 30 seconds and gain a 10% damage boost. Tanking damage resets this buff. Shield hits do not count as taking damage. Interesting. And then when you level up, you get a shockwave, just deal more damage. Weapon cooldown is lower. Collecting health pickups while full health grants damage boost of 10% of the pickup's value. The buff has 8 seconds and can stack if multiple health pickups are collected. That's really cool. That's one of those ones in this that I'm just really excited about because it is different, you know? It's not your normal thing. And then you come over here and you can kind of see the weapons you've unlocked. All of the ones I can pick, usually I can pick them because I've gotten them to level 10, which allows you to pick them as a starter. I don't know if it's necessarily that. Yeah, so yes, okay, they need to get to level 8, not 10. That's how you get that. These are just your regular kind of power-ups that you can get. And you unlock those with achievements. And then this is where you switch your character. So you have the Psychic, experimental test subject with psychic abilities, 600 base HP, increased damage and movement speed. Special ability, Mind Blast, instantly destroy regular enemies, deal damage to strong enemies. Deleted enemies won't drop XP cubes. Then you have the Soldier, which with 1,000 base HP, and the special ability is Dash. So if you like your dashes, that does exist in this game, but you have to pick a certain character. But yeah, guys, this has been Let Them Come, Onslaught. And yeah, you made it this far in the video. A like and a sub would be very much so appreciated. Thank you guys very much for watching. You know, trying to grow the channel right now, every little bit helps. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Peace out.